We find our government failing our people by filling their pockets through corruption. May officials be building lavish homes, building fire pools with taxpayers' money, stashing cash of American dollars in couches on their farms, or even stealing money which was meant for social relief of distress grants. But this is not just an issue with government. Sometimes this corruption and this greed and this lack of empathy and shift away from reality society is faced with enters the life of us as the church. Through this, we find that as church, we become out of touch with the reality of the world and of the country and of society which is faced with. We are not called to be a society where church and state coexist, but neither are we called to be only people who live in this bubble which is known as the church. Rather, our call is to be empathetic to the needs of our society. And empathy lies in us taking off our shoes to walk in the shoes of others. This all comes together in our scripture from St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians today, where he calls us to be servants of Christ, who have been put in charge of God's mysteries. But further to this, Paul calls us to be faithful to Jesus. In being faithful to Jesus, we don't walk ahead of those who are struggling and suffering, but we, with Christ in us, we are called to walk alongside those who are faced with difficulty. Yes, we are all blessed differently, but our call as Christians isn't to be placed above somebody else, onto a pedestal. Rather, we are called to serve and to love and to give and to share. Sometimes the reality of our society makes us hard and it keeps us locked up in our homes out of fear. We keep our doors locked when someone knocks on the door asking for food, as we fear giving them anything in case they hurt or fatally injure us. We don't know who's lurking around the bushes outside of our homes, so we lock ourselves up away from all those problems of the hunger, of the loneliness of others, and whatever somebody else is faced with. That is a reality, but it shouldn't stop us from seeing the human in others. It shouldn't stop us from giving to organizations whose work it is to feed the poor, or to clothe the naked, or to console the lonely, who is hurt and broken. We need to pray today, and we need to pray every day that God will show us to trust in Him more, and to be a church which is open to the reality of our time, to give, to share, to educate, and to shine the light of Jesus in this dark, broken world.